we go here, it will see all different, all different examples that we have talked so far. Okay, so if you see the apex imperative with complex parameters, apex wire method with function, with property, with parameter, with without parameter, the API method, API property, getter setter, different compositions, contact list. Okay, so record edit form, data table, and I think all these hello world, the hello conditional rendering expressions for each loops, different type of examples that you could see, right? Are you guys doing all these examples? Can you confirm me? See, if you don't do it, then you will forget.
Yes, Sumana, we are doing.
Okay, good. And this is little advanced level. If you see this, I mean, this has got, this is an example where you can see all different lightning component, and then it's a real example that you can follow, meaning you go to the descriptions, right? So it shows you, I mean, you have the search screen. If you search it, what are the results that you will get. You can see the details in a card view and all, right? So these are all good real examples, and based on these only we actually do our real projects. So these are all real project examples that are given. So I request you, because Friday is a Good Friday holiday, so we have some plans, and there is no class on this next Friday, and after that I think we have one more class to finish all the content that we have decided to go with. So please look at all these, and then you should be good. If you do all these, you should be able to do any of the LWC component creation in your real life project. Okay, so please make sure that you follow this page, and then you perform all your activities as your homework. Okay, so let me the chat window. So let me give it to you. Okay, let's see. In our component, we have talked about all these. Talked about style, hello world, different files in the LWC. How did we add the styles? What are the JavaScript files, and how we wrote the code? We have added the element in our HTML and followed by the JavaScript. How did we use the event, the event given by the component? We have used the reactive property. We have used the public properties, configured the component for the Lightning Builder based on how you expose them to different pages in the system. Different HTML directives for each loop, if else, iterations, and all these things we have seen. We have seen the Lightning data services. How do we communicate with the Lightning data without writing any Apex? There are three ways: Lightning record form, Lightning record view form, Lightning record edit form. And there are different contexts on which you should be using all these. We have seen the examples of Lightning record form, Lightning record form in the create mode, edit mode, view mode, and Lightning record edit form in different mode. We have talked about how we can write the Apex class and bind them with the Lightning Web Component. So, do you guys remember if I have written one Apex class and want to call that Apex class from the LWC, what is the annotation that I should be using?
Or enable cacheable.
Or enable and cacheable. Uh, and then we have talked about how do we wire Apex method with the property, um, and we have also seen the uh, uh, calling the Apex by the imperative and all. Okay, so mm, there there is one 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 thing that we can discuss today, and we will elaborate more a little bit more in our next session. Uh, every instance in the world has a life cycle, right? Even the human has their own life cycles, starting um, from their birth to infant, toddler, kid age, young age, middle age, old age, and finally death, right? So everything in the world has their own life cycle, and this Lightning Web Component is also not an exception. So if you look at other component, so everything has their own life cycle also. Now, if I take a look for the Lightning Web Component, so how the Lightning Web Component life cycle works is when the component is created or the instantiated. Hmm. So let's say I mean in any example we have seen that when I declare an object of a class, right, in my code. So the first method or the first thing is the constructor which executes and then create the instance of that class, right? So in LWC also, constructor is the first method that is called when the component is created. Okay. So now what you see is the creation of the component in the system. And when that component is inserted into the DOM tree, means the entire page is a sort of DOM, you can think of, right? Document object model, where you have different tags, HTML tags inserted to form the DOM tree. Now, if you have created one component and you want to insert that component into one component and followed by that component into the whole HTML page, so uh, in the life cycle of the component, that component needs to be inserted into that DOM tree. Means, see, I mean, you think about you, right? Let's say you are participating in an event. hmm? So first thing is you get yourself before that program. So means your construction, I mean your availability of yourself is initiated. Okay, then you are called that, hey, come and then get into the line for this program. So you are getting into the line or queuing yourself to participate into the program. So that is called inserting yourself into that queue. So to perform something, you have to be in that queue or in that chain, right? So that's how the component is also getting inserted into that DOM tree. So when when DOM, when the component is inserted into the DOM tree, at that point of time, the connected callback function fires. Okay. Now, likewise, when you are disconnected, let's say your program is done, so you are coming out of that queue, or you are coming out of that tree, right? So you are done with your performance. So in that time, the disconnected callback function calls, meaning when the component is done and it is a time to dispose the component, and that point of time the disconnected callback is called. So you might need to do something. I mean, why are we doing why are we having all these functions? Meaning, you may need to perform, let's say, you may need to execute certain task, okay, during the creation, let's say during the creation of this component, or during the component is inserted into the DOM tree, or the component is removed from the DOM or disposed from the DOM. Hmm. Render callback, when it happens, uh, uh, so when take your example where you are performing something, right? So you went to the queue, you are waiting for your performance. After you are you are done your performance, that is where the render callback phase, render callback functions is called, meaning the component has finished its rendering. I mean, it is in action. So it has from the queue to the stage, and it is now active, or in action. So that is where the render callback is called. Okay. And while you are into the performance, if there is any error happens, that point of time, the error callback function is called. Okay. So I mean, try to remember this way. You are going to perform something on the stage, so you first get the entry, and make yourself available, uh, for the program. That is the constructor call. You get into the queue to perform something on the stage. That's where the connected callback is called. When you are on the stage and doing the action, or doing the acting, which means you have rendered into the DOM, you have done rendering, meaning you are in the action on the stage. That's why the rendered callback is called. If there is any error happens during the component lifecycle, the error callback function is called. Um, when you are done with your performance and you are taking off from your queue and then coming out, that's where the disconnected callback function is called. So if you want to do any activities during these phases, you can write your code into these functions. We will see that in example. Okay. uh, so if I take one example, right, let's say, let me draw one. Let's say, okay, how do I? So, so let me take this example. Let's say, uh, what is happening? So let's say I have give me 1 minute. Let me do a solid line. In the field, let's say no field. Okay, so this is let's say component. Let's say this is my component 1, and within this I have another component. So solid line, and okay, this is my another component, for example. Okay, so that exports. So this is my component 2. Or maybe I can say so if I take this example, right, this component 1 and component 2, can you guys tell me which one is the parent and which one is the child?
Component 1 is the parent, component 2 is the child.
Okay, so component 1 is the parent, and then component 2 is the child. Okay, so now if I so if I want to let's say create this component into my DOM, right? So the parent has to come first, okay, and then the child will appear, right? So child cannot exist without the parent, right? So my parent has to come first. So now if I look at a life cycle flow, right? So what happens? The first thing, so remember the constructor, connected callback, render callback. If any error happens, then error callback, and then disconnected callback finally when my job is done for that component. Okay, so if I think of this one, so the constructor of the parent is called, and then public property is pending to be updated. Yes or no means any public property that is declared in that component will be called and updated. Okay, meaning if you are setting any public properties values and everything, right, so those are updated, which means now let's say you are the same example where you are performing on the stage, right? If you need to do makeup for the stage, or if you have to make any arrangement for the performance, right, that is what happened, and then the parent is inserted into the DOM tree. So after the DOM tree insertion is done, then connected callback is called up for the parent, and then parent is rendered. So after the parent is rendered, it thinks, do I have any child? If yes, then the constructor of the child is called. And then the same way, if there is any public property of the child is there, it is updated. And the insertion happens into the DOM tree, and the connected callback is called, and the render child renders, and the render callback is called, and then finally the render callback of the parent is called. Means first it is actually the parent constructor is done, and the insertion of the parent into the DOM tree is done, and then connected callback of the parent is called, and the parent render happens, but the render callback is not called, because first it needs to render all its child components, and then the render callback of the parent will be done. Okay, that's why the render happens, but render callback is not performed. So after that, it looks for any child, and the same way the child things are happened, and the render callback of the child is called, and then finally the render callback of the parent is called. So this is a life cycle flows, and different methods are called in that life cycle hook. Okay, while you remove the component from the DOM, first the parent remove from the DOM tree, and then the disconnected callback of the parent is called, and then followed by the child is removed from the DOM tree, and then disconnected callback of the child is called. Okay, so if I take this example where if I need to install this one, right? So first the parent constructor would be called, and then if there is any public property that would be assigned or evaluated, and then the connected callback would be called. After that, the parent will be rendered, but not the rendered callback will be called, because it will now evaluate any child inside the parent. So if the child is found, then the child construction, connected callback, render callback will happen, and then the parent render callback will happen, and that's how you will see all these components are in action. Okay, now tell me one thing. If I need to, if I need to pass any value from parent to child, how can I do that? Any idea? If I need to pass any value from parent to child,
API.
API
decorator.
Right? So if I need to pass any value from the parent to child, I can use the API decorator. But if I need to pass any value from child to parent, what do I do?
You need to write event. Hello.
Yeah. So if
you need to write event, I think.
Yeah, event, right. So if I want to pass data from child to parent, parent to child, I can directly use the at API the way we have used, right? Because you can directly use the API property of the child from the parent and then pass the value accordingly. And these are all connected. So if you make any changes in the parent, it will reflect in the child. But if I want to pass any value from child to parent, okay, then I need to use a custom event. So you have seen we have used event like on click, on change, and all this, right? So that's how we have used the event mechanism. But here we have to write some custom event to pass the value from child to parent. Okay, so this is where I am using the parent. I'm using the event to pass the message from child to parent, which are in the same hierarchy. Okay, so that is one mechanism. We call it a custom event. which I can use to pass the values from child to parent. So in that event bubbling, in that event custom event, it should be in the same same hierarchy. So it's a parent child hierarchy. Okay. There could be another scenario where there could be one scenario where, let's say, I have components like this. So so component one, you can have another few components, let's say. Another few components. Okay. Insert. So component two, component three, component four, component four. So do you see any difference? What is the difference between these two scenario, where I have this parent and child, where I have this one?
Components are not connected with each other.
Yeah, so they are not connected. I mean, they are not in the hierarchy, parent-child relationship. Though you can say it is there in the whole single page. But if I look at this one, right? So I can think of, this is in the hierarchy where parent and child are connected, and they can talk to each other. The parent is embracing the child, but here these are all different components, right? So now if I try to take a look to see what's in there, let's say, if I want to open my default org. Okay, and then go here. Okay. So if I let's say if I edit this page, you see these are all different components, right? So if I want to see this example, right? So which is this scenario falls under which category? Category one or category two in my example?
Category 2.
Category two, right? But if I let's say I'm using one component, and within that component I have I have another component, right? Let's say now if I go here and then look at the account, right? Look at one account, for example. So within this component, this is a related component, and in this related component, I have this arrangement. So I can think of this is a parent, and within that I have the child component, or maybe this is one of my parent, and inside that I have the child component, or you can make your own child component if you want, right? So that's the parent child relationship I can think of. But if I see the distinct, if I see here also, this is a separate component, this is a separate component, and this is a separate component, but within this component, these are all the child of this whole component. Okay, so you have to think which design I need to follow. Do I need to follow uh, do I need to create some component which are not related, or I can create component which are related? Okay, if if the components are related, and in the parent child relationship, I can use the event to pass the values from child to parent up in the hierarchy. That's where I need to use the custom event. But if I need to use uh, if I need to pass values across the components which are not in the hierarchy, in that case I need to use one mechanism which is called lightning message service. Hmm? So messaging service is a message channel where you are sending message from one component to other component which are not related. Hmm? There are other services which is called pub subs, which used to be there before the lightning message service came. Lightning message service came recently, I think 2 years maybe. But before that, we did use the pub, and which is a third party library which we had to use to exchange message across the components. But if you if you need to use now uh, a message which can interact across the components which are not in the hierarchy, in that case we can use the lightning message service. So there are limitations, but most of the cases I think you should first try to see whether lightning message service is suitable or not, and then you can go from there. Okay, so we'll see both the examples, and then we'll do it. Now the example of the event, let's see. So I will make a first child uh, I'll first make a child event and the child component, and then we'll see how we can use this child component, and then uh, use this child component from the parent. Okay, so let me create one component here. I will name it as child event, child. Okay, so event child is created, and I will just get this lightning button. So lightning button, if you want to use this lightning button base component, and then want to see what's in there, where you should go, where do you find the lightning button component? To see the definitions and other attributes, and then events. Guys, any idea? Where do I get all the lightning based components?
Component library.
Yeah,
Geolocation.
component library. Yeah, you should remember this all the time. Don't forget this should be your bookmark. Okay, if you go here, lightning button, I should be getting all my button examples here, and then there are documentations, specifications. You can all read what are the attributes you can use, what are the methods you can use, and it talks about all the documentations with examples. Mm. It also says what are the CSS properties are used. Mm. So these all components are used um, are used from the Lightning design system. Mm. So this should be very handy. I mean, whenever we do coding, we keep this component reference open in front of us so that we can just refer all these base component example and then use in our project. Okay, so that's what I have done. Lightning based component level is, let's say, child clicked is the level name, and then on the on click I am using the handle click. So I want to perform something on clicking of this button. Okay, and then let me go to my event. Okay. So what I am trying to do in the event is I want to publish. I want to send something from this child to the parent. So which means I'm here. I'm creating this component first. Okay, and then I'm in this component. I have a button. Okay, and I want to send a message to the parent via a custom event that I'm making. Okay, so what I'm doing is, in the clicking of the button, I want to do something. Okay, what is that something is what I will write down here. Now what I want to do, I want to create one custom event and then send it to the external world. Okay, where the parent will receive the message from this child. Okay, so what I have to do is, if I go here, I am trying to do this. This is very straightforward and very easy. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get the level of the target. Okay, so I'm passing the event. So what is that? What is the target? Can you guys tell me what is the target?
Label.
No, level is not the target. On which I'm handling the event.
Template side. Template side.
Target is
Right.
is parent.
No, target is not parent. So here I am trying to handle something on which I am handling. That is the lightning button, right? Not the template, whole template.
Yes.
So I want to do something on clicking of the lightning button. So who is the target?
Lightning button.
Yeah, I want to do something on clicking of the lightning button. You have to understand that. Okay. So here the event is occurring on what? The lightning button. Okay, so the target is my lightning button. So this becomes my lightning button. And what is the attribute of the lightning button I'm using is the level. So this is the level I'm trying to consume. So while I am on handling this event, my target is this element, this component, and within this component I am trying to use the level. Okay, so that's how you see it. Okay, so now if I want to, let's say, debug, write into my console, what is the statement I should write?
Console.log.
Console.log LABEL. Okay, I will just write down this level value in my console. Okay, now what I'm doing is I am declaring a custom event. Okay, and the name of the custom event is child click. The name of the event is the child click, and in the detail I am passing the level as the value. Okay, so where if I want to handle this, if I want to, I mean, when I subscribe to this event, when I want to handle this event, I will get this level, this level as my value in the detail. Okay, so essentially what I am doing is I am sending the value of the level through this custom event. Okay, and then I am dispatching this event. Okay, so first what I have done, I am creating the custom event, giving a name to the custom event, and then defining what I want to send with this custom event, and then I am dispatching it. Okay, so if someone wants to, if someone wants to contain this component in it, I will call that component as parent, and then I can receive this value by handling this event. Okay, now we will see. Let me deploy this to the source. So now tell me, in my XML metadata, if I want to use this component into my parent, into one of my other component as a child, do I need to expose as true? So
No.
No.
question is, if I want to use this component in another component, do I need to expose this as true? Yes or no?
No. No.
No.
Okay. So now my job of my event, child event is done. Okay, now I'll go to the parent, and then we'll see this one. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a event parent. Okay, destination is this. Okay. Now but this event, this component I want to use in my home page, for example. Okay, lightning home page. So what I have to do is I have to expose this to my home page. Okay, so let me come here and then go to the event page, and then expose this to my home page. Okay, so I have exposed this to my home page. Correct. So now let me see what I'm doing. In the parent JS, I I'm just declaring one field called child. Okay, nothing. It is just a declaration of the field. Let's say display. Display value, for example. This is the field that I'm declaring. Now, if I go to the, pay attention a little bit here. Okay. So, what I want to do is, in my parent, I want to say, I want to display the message. Okay. So, I want to display the value. Sorry, display level. Like we have the label from child. This is my variable. Okay. So I'm just doing this. Okay. So I want to I am declaring a value, a variable, and then I want to display the value which I'm receiving from the child. Okay. And this is a parent event. So I am embedding the child event into my parent, right? So to embed the child event into my parent, what I have to do is, you see, this is a kebab case. Event child is my component name. Event child is my component name, right? Event child is my component name. If I want to use this component into my parent, I have to write like custom hyphen kebab case event, and then the child C started with the caps. That's why I have to do a hyphen and C. That's how the C event child is declared. Okay. And what is the name of the event I have
Child click.
child click, right? So I have exposed the event as child click, right? So because the name of the event is child click and I want to handle that child click, like the on click or on change, like that, right? I want to handle this event. So that's why I have to write on child click. So I'm writing on. So see, this was my name of the event in my child, and because I want to handle the event in my parent, that's why I have to write on child click in my child component which I'm consuming from the parent. Okay. So on child click I want to handle, and what is the method where I want to handle is the handle event. So I come here and then I have to write the handle event. Okay. If I see this example, I'll see like this. Okay. Handle event. It is coming as same if you look at this one, right? The handle event is what? Event. Okay. And so what is my event? The event is my whole child, right? If I go to the parent HTML, what is my event? This is my whole child. Okay. And what value I want to get from this child? The value that I have passed in the detail. The value that I have passed in the detail, right? So that's why if I go here to event dot detail, okay, and then I will assign this value into my display child, which will be displayed in this field. Okay. Okay, let's see this. I mean, this is a little bit of tricky. I understand, but once you are there, it should not be a problem for you. Let us deploy it and then try to run it in from the application. A lot of my time, a lot of the situation it doesn't run. I mean, I'm having little trouble in my iMac after the updates is done. Most of my things are not working. I cannot refresh my caches because I'm using this browser for many things. So let me go here and then go to the edit page, and so if I see the event parent, so event parent I see, but I can't see the event child. Why I can't see the event child?
Is exposed is false.
Yeah, then is exposed is false. That's why it is not exposed. But the event parent I have exposed in my home pages. That's why you see this home pages. If I go to any other record pages or any other custom app pages, I will not see this event. Okay. So if I drag this component, I see this receive from and the child click, right? So I see the receive from and the child click. Okay. So if I save this one and then go back, see if you want to try, you can also try through the console.log to see how the life cycle hooks are coming. So if I take this example, right, this is my parent, okay, and in my and this is my child, right? So if I do this one, right, let's say connected callback, right? If you want to write something, console.log message from parent connected callback function. Okay, you can check to see how the functions are being called. You can say the constructor also if you want. So if I go here and then go to the child and then write down here, say connected callback and then message from child connected callback functions are called. Okay, so we'll see in the console log how it is appearing. But our focus is to understand the event first, because this is a little bit of tricky for the first time. And believe me, once you understand this, it is very simple for you guys to understand and to use it. Okay, so now what should I expect, right? What I have done here, what is the level of this level of this button in the child clicked, right, is the level. And I want to pass the value of the level into my parent and then display. Okay, so if I click here, see, I see the child click displayed here, right? I will do one more time. If I click here, what will happen? So let's say when I'm clicking here, let me go to the child. What is the level? Child click. Okay, or let's say my child level. So let me deploy this one. The level of the button is my child level. Okay, and the on click, when I'm clicking, what is happening? When I'm clicking, I am getting the level value into this constant. Okay, I'll see the console.log value also now, and I am creating one custom event by the name of child click, and in the detail I'm sending the value of the level, which is what in this case, what is the value now?
My child level.
My child level.
My child level. Okay, so I am sending the value of the level, which is my child level, through this custom event, right? And in the parent, what I'm doing is, in the parent, I am handling this event by writing on child click, and in the handle event, I am trying to get the detail, which is my child value, which is my child level. Okay, the event.detail is equal to my child level, and that I am assigning it to this variable, and then this variable is displayed in this location, in this template. Okay, so now if I again try to deploy the source to the org, and then let me do a inspect, and I'll go to the console. I will clear this out, and then if I do this one, okay, do you see this one, the message, what it says? Message from parent call connected callback. So if I look at the lifecycle hook, right, the first thing came as the parent connected callback function is called. Okay, and then the child connected callback is called. That's why if I go here, I see the message from parent connected callback functions, and the message from child connected callback function came after that. So that way you can try the other functions also. We'll see that. But now look at this. Let me clear this one. If I click on this one, I did a console.log of this level. So my child level should be displayed here, and the same value I have passed into the parent, and then the parent the parent should display the value. So I click here. See, this my child level. So this my child level, the first my child level is from this console, and I'm passing it here. And in the event parent, I'm again doing the console log. So the second message you see here is from the parent, and the first one is from the child. Okay, any question? You may have, you might think that, okay, it is a little bit of complicated in terms of how you write the code, but believe me, once you do one or two times, it should be easy for you.
So when we see the console, the connected callback of parent is called first and then the child. And when we see the debug logs, the child is giving the log first and then the parent.
No, see, this is the don't mix that up with the connected callback. Connected callback is the example that I wanted to show you. Which function calls first, right? So parent will be called first, and then the child. But in the handle event, so if I do like this, right? from, let's say, from parent. Okay, this is from parent. Deploy, and this one is from child. Okay. Okay. If I do this one, this is the connected callback. Connected callback always starts from the parent and then from the child. But render happens the other way. If I do a render callback, for example, I should not be doing this here because you might get confused. So let's say render callback, okay, and I want to do console log. Render callback. And this is and let's say this is my render callback. So if I follow the life cycle hook, right? Look at this. So my parent connected callback is called, then parent is rendered, but render callback will call at the very last, right? So now if there is any child, then child connected callback function is called, and then render callback function is called, and then render callback for the parent is called. So now if I have written down all these, right? So first thing should come which one? Parent connected callback. This one should be displayed, right? And
Yes.
then this one should be displayed or not?
It would be in the last, I guess.
It would be in the last. So in the child, then the connected callback will be called, and then the render callback will be called, and the parent render callback will be called. Okay, so let's see that. I hope I have checked in. If I do this one, see what is happening. Message from parent connected callback, and then message from child connected callback, and then message from child rendered callback, and then message from the parent rendered callback. Okay, that is the life cycle. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I go here, if I click on this one, so I should be seeing the log from the child itself first, because I am in the child event handler, and then I am displaying the message from there. So this should come first, and then the dispatch of this event happens, and then it passes to the parent, and then the parent things will come, and then the console log from the parent should happen, right? So now if I go here and then do this, see, from child, my child level, and then from parent, my child level. Okay.
Yes.
And you see the render callback is again called in the parent, because parent is re-evaluating, parent is rendering the data from the child. So every time any render happens, the render callback function would be called. You will know it slowly. So render.
But in this
render
case, but in this case, the child is also rendering, huh?
no, child is not rendering. What I am
Because
doing,
the-
Do you see? I mean, child is already there. I am not changing anything in the child. I am changing the value here. So the value of this is rendered. Am I changing anything in the child? If I go here in the child, right? Did I change anything here?
No.
Did I change anything in this template? Did you see any reflection of the change in this template? No, right? But if you go to the parent, the value of this one is changed. That's why the render callback is called of the parent.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to play a little bit here and there, and then you will understand.
Okay.
It took some time to explain this to you. Now, the next one is even a little more challenging. So think of this. I'll come in 1 minute, okay, and then we'll take the example of the event across the component which are not related in the hierarchical relations. Okay, so try to think about this and then see. Okay, so let me give you one homework along with this sample recipe. Sample recipe is definitely a must do. If you do all this, you can do anything. Remember, you can do anything literally. Okay, so uh, one homework is like that. So let's say this is my parent and this is my child. Okay, in this child, I will have a lightning record form to create one account record. I will, in this child, I will have one record form which will create the account record. Okay, and after the account record is created, you have to hide this child record and then display message saying account with the ID, with the account ID has been created. Okay, so if I want to again tell you what account record creation. Okay, and then here you display account ID created from child and hide the component. Okay, is that clear to all of you? So I'll have one parent component and a child component. In the child component, I will have account record creation record form, account record creation form, and after the account record creation is done, I will hide this component and then I will display the newly account created record in my parent. Is that clear? Can you confirm? Can you confirm, any of you?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now let's move on to the next topic here. So let's see how we can do that. It is, bear with me, it is little bit of tricky than the previous one. I hope you guys have no question from the previous one, right? Anyone has any question?
Yes, I have one question.
Yeah. Tell me.
So how many times connected callback will call? Is it depends on the situation or is it call only once?
Now you tell me, you went to perform in a show, okay? So you made yourself available in the backstage, okay? And then you are about to perform and you are in the queue, right? So
Yes.
how many times you feel that you should be in the queue to perform your show?
If I want, it will be one time. But if I
It will be
but if I want to perform that action again, then it may be multiple times.
you are, I mean, you are, once you are selected in that group, right? You will be there in that group only once, right? So let's say I say, okay, here are one or two groups that should be performing the show. So now, Monica, you are in the group one. Go to that group. So you will go to the group, means you are inserting yourself, you are enqueuing yourself in that group. So standing with the group or queuing yourself in that group will happens only once, right? And then rest of the time you'd be doing the performance. That is the action, but entering into that group will happens only one for that show, right?
Okay.
So the connected callback will happens only once. When you are initiated or entered into that group, and when you exit from that group, the disconnected callback will happen again. Okay, but every time, let's say, okay, now you are doing the performance in the stage, and then you did something, and then you came back, and then you again go to the stage and then do something. So more the many times you go into the stage and then perform your shows, the many times the rendered callback will be called.
Yes, got it.
Okay, but once you are in the group, you are in the group. So the connected callback and disconnected callback will be called once, and you coming to the show will happen once only, which is your constructor.
Okay.
Okay, any other question from anyone? Try to remember this example, it would be clear for all of you. Okay, now let's move on to the next example, where we are exchanging the message or exchanging the event across the applications which are not connected. Means you are running, let's say, 4 different shows in 4 different locations, and then you are traveling component stage to stage. So how do we do that? I created this example yesterday for you guys. So what we will do, because see, nowadays we don't do much on the so nowadays, so far, what we have been doing, you have the visual force page, you may have the aura pages, you may have the lightning web component. So you may need to, let's say, in this component, you cannot tell, right? If I look at these components, all these components. So one, let's say, a component, let's say this component was created 3 years back in my application. So I may have used the aura component, for example. Let's say this component was created 7 years back, and I have used visual force pages, for example, or visual force component. So, and then today I have another new request from business to create a new component. Okay, this one. So if I today get a requirement to create a new component for my homepage, which technology I should be using? Visual Force component, Aura component, or LWC component? Tell me.
LWC.
LWC. But I have Visual Force, and here I have Aura component, right? So till the time I replace this component with LWC, I have to live with all other components also, which are written in either Aura or in Visual Force component, right? So in such cases also, I have to transfer the messages or transfer the values from one component to other component. That has to be done through the messaging service also. So you have the flexibility of choosing what component you are subscribing and publishing your messages. Okay, but the example we will take today, we'll take both LWC components, and then we'll exchange the messages. But you can do it in other flavors also, meaning Aura component to LWC, LWC to Aura, or VF to Aura, like that. Okay, so if you want to know this one, you can definitely go to this guide, and then you take these examples to see how these are done in different scenarios. But the example that we will take two other components. So I'm taking this example.
Hello, Suman.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yeah.
That is, in the I have read that now we are using Lightning component, web component, right? So previously we were using Aura component, right? So why means Aura component is replaced with Lightning web component? Can you please tell me once?
See, this is a evaluation of the technology, right? You tell me, do you use smartphone or the conventional telephone today, or the phone which has no display screen, no smart screen, no apps, only you can talk? Which phone you use today?
Yeah, we definitely use smartphone nowadays.
Why do you use that?
Yes,
Why
because
can't
smartphone has more features.
why can't you use the conventional phone today?
A smartphone has more features, more technologies, are touchable, and you just do the work promptly. That is why.
Yeah, the same way, when the technology evolves, which has more feature, more benefit, and more user friendly, so that's why it evolves more, better performance, better scalability, and all, right? So it is a evolution of the technology, nothing else. And the product is adopting the updates and the upgrades. But it has a backward compatibility also. If you want to use Visual Force page or a component today also, you can do it. But recommendation is not that. So now, I mean, you should be so conservative, okay? And then you will say, no, I will not use smartphone. I'll use the old phone. You can do that also, right? But will you do that?
Not no.
Yeah. So it is about the adoption.
Yeah,
If you
actually, in
if you feel
visual
benefit
forms, yeah. Tell me.
if you feel benefit of using the new things, you will definitely accept and adopt that one, right?
Yeah.
The same thing.
Okay. So in the visual force, I have seen Aura in the comment means just like whenever I click on the particular variable or particular what should I say, particular tag, just like API, just like track. If I click on that, so that time I see the Aura. So I thought that why we use Aura now. So as you told that lightning web component is using right now, right? So why we use Aura? Are you getting my point?
Yeah, but I don't understand when you say, when you click on the track and everything, you see the aura. Um, but definitely, I mean, see, that is a different. If I want to show you that one, right? I mean, let's say you go to the developer console, right? And then you go to the file new, and then do you see this Visual Force page, visual component, lightning application, lightning component? So this lightning component is actually a uh, is actually a you see this one, lightning record page, lightning page. So this is, if I click hit submit, it is coming as a bundle: component, controller, helper, style, documentation, render, design, and SVG, right? So this is actually my Aura component. Do you see this one?
Yes.
So this is my order component. If I do a save, okay, I will be able to see this component in my home page. So this is a different different language, you can say, and the framework, you can say also. You see, they have component. Now in my example, I have this HTML. I have one. I mean, you can take this one. Take this example. So you see the resources. This is a mapping, right? So my CMP becomes my HTML. So it is the CMP. This is the component. Okay, this is my HTML. All the controller, helper, render, all these components which I have used in my Aura becomes one single file, the same JS file. In the CSS, I have CSS file. Documentation is not applicable anymore. I can do the same thing in my design, and the design becomes my XML. So if you see this design, this is my design. Okay, but when I use my LWC component, I use this. Okay, and the SVG, I have the SVG. See, by default they are giving SVG here, but in Lightning Web Component they are not giving SVG by default, because not every time they are giving the flexibility of creating the SVG. If I create here, the SVG file will be created, but in my LWC I have to explicitly create the file and followed by the content. Okay, so this is a different language and the pattern, you can say. Do you get it? Kyle, any question? You see, this my component came here. Hello, can you, any one of you hear me?
Yes, Suman.
Kyle, can you hear us?
Yes, Suman. We can hear.
Okay. So I was thinking I'll explain this to Pal, but she is not here. So look at this one. I have this my component is my order component, right? So now if I go back here, and then you see this component. So this component is my LWC and this component is my Aura. So Salesforce is taking care of all these component and rendering behind the scene. But if you are a user, you have no way to know whether this is an Aura component or the Lightning Web component. Okay. So you will see lot of standard component, right? If I go and hit edit, it used to be, there used to be lot of standard component which are still is in Visual Force component, Visual Force pages, still today running, but they are slowly upgrading the components into Lightning Web component. Okay, but behind the scene, then they are doing the mechanism so that it can coexist. Okay, so if I go to this example, right? Propagation. Sorry, I think I had no, sorry. It is this one. I think if I go here, so there is a whole topic: coexist, component, event, share JavaScript code, and all, right? So how the coexistence of both Aura and LWC happening, it is discussed here. Okay, though we don't have to do much, from a regular day-to-day job perspective, but inside the behind the scene, it is coexisting. Okay, and today you see lot of messages, lot of components which are coexisting and written still running under Aura or in Visual Force page or in LWC, and slowly they are migrating into LWC. Now you guys might be working. So now I heard a lot of people are working in Aura component and they are learning the LWC. What does that mean? Means from now onward, any new component you would be trying should be in the LWC, not in the Aura. Okay, but that does not mean that you cannot upgrade all your existing Aura component into LWC so soon. You don't need to do that, but slowly you would be migrating all your Aura components. So from now onward, you decide, okay, now onward I will write all my component in LWC, not Aura anymore. And then when I get time, when my project give me that timeline and the phases, I will slowly migrate my Aura component into LWC component. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, I hope I mean we have discussed a lot here. Now let us move to the LMS example. Okay, so one thing is I need to create one channel, means the carrier, right? I mean, let's say you are going to your office from your home, right? And everyone is going office from your respective home. You need a carrier to carry yourself, right? So maybe while you are traveling, you might be using your own car or maybe a public transport. Let's say we are using a bus, right? So there has to be some carrier or some medium which will take you from your home to your office. So that carrier is the bus here, your transport communication, your transport or the communication channel is the bus. Okay, so I have to the very first thing that I have to do is to build the communication channel or the message channel by which I will transfer my message. Okay, so there are some terminologies that you have to use. Okay, first thing is to have a folder called message channel into your project. Okay, if I go here under the default, okay, you have to create one new folder called message channel. Okay, because I already have one folder created, that's why they said that you already have a message channel created. So this folder, if you don't have this, you have to create one folder with the exact naming convention called message channel. Okay, and then in that message channel you have to create one file called, so my channel is the bus, name of the bus or the name of the message that I'm using, and it has to follow this extension. So my channel is your message channel, and then message channel -meta.xml is your file extension. Okay, so I have created this one. Okay, so let's say what I'm doing, let's do it step by step. I created one channel called message channel. Okay, so whenever I create my channel, I have to name the file as this. Okay? have to name the file as I have to, so let's say Suman channel. So I have to create the file name as this Suman channel dot message channel hyphen meta.xml. So this is what I did. Now the next thing is you have to write down this XML file and the description. So this is a sample message lightning channel description. I'm exposing this channel, and the name of this message channel is my channel. That is my master level. Okay. So these are the all conventions that you have to follow. So I created one channel called my channel, and I am exposing that channel, and I have given the description. So this is my bus or taxi or whatever you can say. So it will carry your message. So now let me deploy that to the source. So the first thing what I did is I created the channel and exposed them so that they can carry the message. So now now to avail the bus or the taxi, whatever you call it, meaning let's say you are calling Uber, for example, Uber taxi. So you have to subscribe that one, right? Subscribe and publish. Okay. So one component will publish and the other component will subscribe. So the publisher who is publishing this message will send the message, and the component who has subscribed will get the message and then they can use it. Okay. How now we'll see how we can do that. Okay. So now let me go to this LWC and then so I'll create one LWC component called my publish component. Okay. I created this component. And then let me expose that so that I can make this available in my homepage. Okay. Okay. So now let's see one by one. What is my mesh channel? Channel name is my channel. Okay. So okay. So my publisher, my publish component. So I want to publish this component, publish the message from this component. How do I do this one? The first thing you have to do is you have to get the context of the message from Lightning Web Component. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm importing the context of the message and then trying to get the capability to publish it. Okay. So I'm telling my Lightning engine that give me all my message service capability into this message context and then give me the ability to publish it. Okay, that is what I have done. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm wiring it, I'm binding it in one variable. Wiring means you don't have to explicitly do it, it will be done implicitly. So soon as the component is connected, or the component is in the DOM tree, or let's say rendered, you get the context of the Lightning message service. So this component will know, okay, I have the capability, I have the context of the messaging service, and then I can publish it. Okay, this is where I have done it. So far clear? You stop me if you don't understand. Okay, and see what's in the HTML. Let's see this first. I am here in this in this template. What I'm doing is, okay, if you look at this template, in this component, I have two subcomponents in this tree, in this DOM. Okay, one is the Lightning input button, and what kind of input button is this? It's a text Lightning input button, and I have the label as enter some text. Okay, so if I just simply deploy this one, let's say, let me deploy this one. Deploy this to my source. And if I go here and then do a refresh, so my publish component, if I do it here, you will see two control. Yeah, you see two control. One is the input text box and another is the button, right? So you see one is the input text box and one is the button. Okay, and on the click of the button, I'm handling it. Okay, so if I go here, I'll just handle this thing. Now what I'm handling here, to pay attention. So what I'm handling here, I am trying to get the context of the Lightning input. So like, you know, in Aura, we find the document, right? I mean, if I want to find a component within the Aura, right? We do component.find like that, right? So here and in the HTML we do document.element get element by ID or get element by name, like that, right? But in Aura component, what we do is it is like the component.find in the Aura. Similarly, it is the template.query selector. I'm looking into the template, okay, and then I'm trying to select a component of this type. So because I have only one Lightning input, that's why I'm directly using query selector Lightning input. But if you have many Lightning component input, then you can find, you know, query selector all, and then it will give you an array of, you know, all different component, and you can use it accordingly. But for this time, because I have only one component, so I'm directly using a query selector from the template and then getting the Lightning input. Okay. The next is what I'm doing. I am trying to get the value of the text box. So this gives me the context of the entire lightning input. Okay, and in the input, lightning input, there is one attribute called value. That's why I'm doing text val dot value. So if you go to the component reference guide, right? Could you guys go on mute if you are not talking? So now, if I go here, right, and then look at the input. Sorry, so if I go here, see the input, right, and in the input, this is the aura one. If I go here and then look at the input, right, you see the specifications, right? In the specification, in the attribute, you will see the yeah. So see, this is one attribute called value, right? What I'm doing is, from this lightning input, I'm just traversing this to the query selector and then getting this element and then getting the value. And this is what I'm writing in my console log. Okay. So now what I have to do is, I have to now publish that. So see, so far what I have done, I set up the context of the message service, but now I want to publish through a message channel. Okay, to publish that through the message channel, what I have to do is, I have to import that channel that I have used. Okay, so here I'm doing this because it is my custom. My channel is the name. Okay, and this is a custom channel. That's why I have to use __ C. Okay, and then I'm importing that as my channel. And now I will use this channel to publish my message. Okay, so let's see. What I'm doing is, I am declaring one payload, and in the payload I'm saying the record ID is the variable, and then I am assigning the value of the text box. Okay, so this is the constant where I am assigning the key value pair. So the record ID is my key or the variable, and the value is the final value which I'm receiving from the text box value. Okay, and then I'm saying publish. This is my context, which is this, which is coming from this. This is my channel, which is importing from here, and then send the payload. So it has got 3 parameters. One is getting the context, what channel I want to use, and what is the payload I have to send, what is the content I have to send. That's it. So I have published this. Okay, so what I have done, initially I created one channel called my channel. In this component, I want to get the context of the messaging service and want to publish something, which I am getting it here. I want to get the name of the channel which I want to use to expose or to publish. I am getting a value from my components, creating the payload with the key value pair, and then publishing the event, the context, and the channel and the content. Any questions so far? If you slowly understand, you will know it. It's all given rightly. And if you want to relate, I mean, how you are using, you have to get them first and then use. And you are using it. Okay. So now let me save this. I hope I have deployed to the source. Now let me go back and then create the subscription. Okay. So next one is I'll say my subscribe component. Okay, my subscribe component. My publish component we have seen. Let me get the metadata. My subscribe component, I'll do this one. Okay. So what I want to do in my subscribe component, what I want to do, I just simply want to display. I just simply want to display the message. Nothing, I mean, you just want to transfer this one, but display the message. Okay, but now let's see, how do I subscribe this one and get the value which is published from the other component. If I go here, I have to do something here now, right? So again, the same thing, you have to first, get the context of the messaging service. So here I am doing a little bit different because I want to subscribe and unsubscribe the message context. So in my previous example, what I did publish and the context. So here because I'm subscribing some message, that's why I have to import the subscription and unsubscription and the context of the message. And if I want to get it from an application, I mean the whole application scope, then I have to write the application scope. But by default, it is the active area that you are using. So if I go here and then defining the scope, so the application scope means the entire application. Okay, but if your component is somewhere here in this active area, then by default it is the active area that is meant here. But if you want to scope it for the whole application, you have to write the application scope. Okay, so that's why I have written this one here. The application scope, I want to get the message context and I want to use it for subscribe and unsubscribe. Clear? Now, of course, I have to wear it again so that I can get it in my, I have imported, now I have to use it for my context type. I will just get the decorator and then use it in my message using as the message context. And then what I have to do is I have to import the channel also, which I want to subscribe. The first thing is a generic thing where I want to use the message service and to the subscribe and unsubscribe feature in the application scope. But now I want to use this message service specifically. Okay. Now display message is the message that I want to display. If you look at here, right, this is the display message I wanted to display. So for that I need to do a variable. I'm giving a variable so that it can be used. And subscribe, it is just another variable which I want to set up to confirm whether it is already subscribed or not, right? So now what I'm doing is in my connected callback, I'm writing some code. Means when the component is in the DOM and initiated inside the DOM, I want to do something. Okay, what I want to do, if the subscription is not already done, meaning it will be done for the first time. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to subscribe. Like in my previous cases, I have used publish, right? Publish, and I gave the context, the channel, and the content that I want to publish. Now here what I'm doing is in my subscription method, I'm again giving the context same as this, and also the channel same as this. So I'm giving the context and also the channel. Okay, and the message which I'm receiving from the publisher. Okay, and I want to use this message in this handler method, and I'll write this handler now. Okay, so it is the same thing as publish. Context, which channel and which content. Here also same thing. Context, which channel, which message, the same message. But I want to handle this in this handler. And the scope is application scope that I have defined before. So I wanted to tell that this is applicable for the entire application. Okay. And the same for the disconnected callback. So when I have the disconnected callback, so this is what I have subscribed, but this is where I have to unsubscribe to. It has to be here. So in this disconnected callback, I just have to let them know that the subscription that I have made, I just want to unsubscribe this one. That's it. Okay. So when the component is destroyed or disposed, I just want to unsubscribe. Means if you are let's say you have subscribed Netflix, right? And you are seeing Netflix in your home. But soon as you feel like, okay, I don't need to see it anymore, you unsubscribe. So same thing I'm using. So I don't need to use this message or this channel if I'm not using this component. So when the component is destroyed, destroy my, unsubscribe my message also. Okay. Now, remember I have done this handle message. So now I will write what I want to handle exactly. What I want to handle is this. The handle message, I'm passing the content here. Okay. So I'm just writing the console. So what is the message? The message which I published, the whole content, right? And then what is my key is the record ID. That's why I have to say my message dot record ID. So here message dot record ID. Okay. I'm just doing a console.log, and then I'm assigning the value or the variable that I'm receiving from my into my message. I'm displaying in my component here, which will be displayed in this message here. That's it. Okay, let me save it. I know it is a little bit of too much. A lot of things you have to do it, but if you sequentially step by step do it, it would be not a big deal. But see, I mean, I have not used this for some time now because I don't write code every time, right? I do review, but I had to recap this one last night to explain this to you. So same way, I mean, when you keep on using this message service, all this event mechanism, it would be easy. I mean, it is step by step, and you will know it. Should not be any problem. So now, let me go here and to go to the home page. So okay. So this is my publish, and let's say my subscribe component. I'll put it one down here. So I have this component, nowhere related, and this is another component. Okay, I will save it. And let's see if it works or not, because there are too many things that we have written. Okay. So now it should be displayed somewhere here because the component is, I put the component here. So let me do the inspect. So if I write, let's say, ending message, right? If I click here, it should send this value to the component, and then it should be displayed here. So if I click, see, as soon as I click here, this component is receiving the value and it is displayed here. The first message is displayed from the first component, and then second message is displayed from the second component through the console.log. Okay, I'll give us a pause here, and then I'll explain this to you guys again one more time, step by step, what we have done and how it is working. Try to be with me. I'll delete this. Here, publish message. Here, subscribe. So the first thing I did, I just created one channel I created one channel in my message channel is a folder that you have to create, and my channel is the name of the message name of the message in the channel. Okay, I have exposed this one, and this is a carrier which will carry your content. Okay, in my publish component, I have taken one input lightning component and one lightning button. Okay, and then on handle of the lightning button, what I'm doing is I am getting the context of the lightning input and getting the value from the input text box. So whatever I am writing, it will be here. Okay, so now to publish the message, I am getting the context of the message and I want to publish, and then I'm getting it in a variable through the wire, and I'm also importing the channel which I want to use to carry my content. Okay, and then I'm creating a payload with a name and the value which I want to pass, and then creating the content, and then I'm passing the content where I'm saying that I have this message context to publish, I have my channel to carry my content, and this is my actual content. That's it in the publish. In my subscribe, what I'm doing, same thing. I want to get the context of the lightning message service, and I want to perform subscription and unsubscription, and want to give the scope. Okay, and this is what I'm getting it in this variable. Okay, and I'm also mentioning that I want to use this channel. I'm subscribing this channel, so that anything that is carried by this channel, I will get it. Okay, now when the connected callback happens, when actually it is in that context of the stage what we discussed, right? You can, if it is not already subscribed, I want to subscribe, and I have the context, I have the carrier or the channel which is carrying the message and the actual message, and I'm passing the message into this handler which can handle this message. Okay, and in the disconnected callback, I'm unsubscribing the subscription. That's it, nothing else. And in the handle message, I'm passing the message, and I'm passing the value by reading the record ID which I have declared in my publish event, and then this one is something I'm writing here in the display message, so which would be displayed through this template and the variable. Okay, now if I go back here, if I again, let's say I love sending messages, if I click here, it will come here again. Okay, so because it is in the subscription mode, so whatever publisher will publish, it will be subscribed. That's it.
It means when it is subscribed, then message will show.
Yeah,
And when
message will go in the channel all the time. Okay, but if the component has subscribed it, it will get the message. Like
when it unsubscribed, then
when it is unsubscribed, it will not get the message, but message will go in this channel. But let's say you are using Netflix, right? Or you are using cables in your home. Okay, and I don't have the Netflix in my home. I have not purchased, I have not subscribed, right? And I'm not using any cable services. So that does that mean that it will not display any news, or it is not displaying any news or any movies?
no, it will continue this. No, it will continue display, but we have not got that.
Because I have not subscribed, that's why I'm not getting in my home, right?
Yes.
So So if it is published, it is there, or it is there in the channel all the time. You will get it in a component if the component has subscribed it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and one more question. Means if we have not subscribed, then we can subscribe. That is the condition. But for unsubscribed, is there any condition? Because there no condition is written.
No, see there. I mean, you don't need to write anything, right? I mean, if you want to subscribe, write down this code. If you don't want to
Means
subscribe,
here
don't
we are
do it.
checking that. Here we are checking that we have not subscribed, then we can subscribe. Okay, it's okay. But in unsubscribed, how can we means go for that? Means how can we unsubscribe?
You are unsubscribing and you are sending the value, right? If it is null,
It
then
means unsubscribe.
it will not do anything. You can write if this is subscribe then unsubscribe. You can write the same thing. If not, if this dot subscribe, then only you do it. But I think it's the same thing. You get it? I mean, I can delete this line also, but it is a good coding practice.
Yeah.
You can also do the same thing in the discounted callback. If it is subscribe, then unsubscribe. Meaning, if here I'm
it
saying
means
if not subscribe, right? I will say if subscribe, then unsubscribe.
it simple means in simple we can say that if we are getting the output in that subscribe, then we are subscribed.
Do not. I mean, do not make this over complicated. This is very simple thing.
Okay.
You don't have to think too much. You can do this. Okay.
Okay.
See, you are making sure. If you even don't do anything, it will be fine. But you are making sure that behind the scene code is disposing all the content that is not needed. That's it. I mean, in Java .NET, right? We used to dispose the classes and everything which we are not needed. I mean, it unnecessarily increase your heap storage and the complexities, right? So
Yes.
you're doing it. Even if you are not doing it, it will do it. I mean, system will do it after some time. But it is a best practice to unsubscribe if you have already subscribed. So now you think like this. You have subscribed Netflix, okay, but you have never seen that one. So you are unnecessarily paying the price, but you are not using it.
Yeah.
Do you think it is a good decision, or you should unsubscribe?
I should unsubscribe if we are not using.
Right, the same way. But if you are not unsubscribing, there is no harm, right? You are just paying the price by not using. The same thing. Okay, so that is why it is called. It is a good practice, not a must thing. If you are okay paying the money and you are not watching it, that is absolutely fine. But it is not a good practice. You are unnecessarily wasting the money. That's it.
Okay. It means in simple we can say that according to this code, if we are getting the output in subscription, this means that we have subscribed. If we are not getting anything while we are entering in that inbox, then it means it is unsubscribed, right?
No, it is not like that. You are not getting it rightly. I'm saying,
if here we are writing anything,
no, that does not mean that I have unsubscribed. It is already in subscribe. So let's say you are using the IPL. Okay. Do you? And then let's say Sony is publishing Sony is broadcasting the IPL match. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have subscribed Sony. Okay. Does that mean that you can see the IPL all the time?
No.
The IPL has to happen, right?
Yes.
So it is like that. I mean, you are not seeing anything, but still I have subscribed it. I am not publishing any message. That's why you are not seeing it. Unsubscribe means what? If I do unsubscribe and if I writing something and then sending it, you will not get this message.
Yes. Yes. That is.
Okay.
Yes.
But that does not mean that if
Got
I'm
it.
not doing anything that is unsubscribed. It is subscribed. It is that it is like that. I mean, if you are sending the message, I will get it. That is the meaning of subscription. If you are not sending, I'll not it. But as soon as you subscribe, as soon as you send something, I'll get it. As soon as the IPL starts and Sony publishes, I'll see in my TV.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes. Yes. Got it.
So try it. I mean, I have uploaded this in my GitHub. You try it and then experiment, okay? And the one,
Yes. Yes.
I mean, because you will have some time for next 7 days. You do one thing. Let me give you another task, homework. Okay. So what you have to do is, let's say this is two different component. Okay, one is so this is my filter. And let's say search. Field 1, field 2, like that. Okay, and then you have the search, field 1, field 2. You can add other fields also. Field N, and then you have the search button. Okay, so let's say account search. So you create one component and then you add account search. I mean, you give field like account type, account phone number, account name, many fields. I mean, whatever fields you want to do it, and then have a button called search. Okay. Then when you hit on the search, you send a message and send all the values that you have selected here in this account in all these fields. Okay, and then here you have a data table. Okay, and display all the account records based on the search. So you will have a component, you will have the field, you will have a search button. When you click on the search, you get all the field, publish it. This component will accept all these fields values. You call a Apex class, make a query, get the record, and then display them in the data table. Did you guys get it? Let me know if you have not understood the requirement.
Yes, sir. Yes, Suman, get it.
Okay.
Suman, sorry. After search button, what will happen? Can you please tell me once more?
After search button, you will publish all the values into this component 2, and this component will make a call to the Apex and then get the record. Let's say let me give you an example. Let's say this is my name. Try with 1. Okay, try with 1, and then you can keep on adding other fields. Let's say this is account name. Okay, and you have published this one. So name of the account, let's say Suman. Okay, if I now go to the account record, so how many greetings you see? 1, 2, 2, greetings 11, 4, 2 greetings, like that, right? So if I search like this, GREETING, and then do search, you see all these greetings, right? So I'm saying the same thing. Have a text box called account name, and then enter some text. Let's say greeting I entered. You publish that. In this component, you receive it, and then make a apex call in the account object. Say select name, phone number, email ID, company, all different fields, where the name like the one that I sent. In this case, the value is the greetings, and then you will get these many records in your apex result, SOQL result, and then pass it back to this component and then populate the data table. Okay, so that should cover one end-to-end requirement for you guys. Okay.
Okay, Suman.
Who has understood it very clearly and feel confident that you can do it? Tell me.
Yes, sure, Suman.
Because your responsibility is to help anyone else. Okay, so anyone, if you guys feel that you need some help, reach out to Bikash. You can help, right, Bikash?
Sure, Suman. Definitely.
Okay, so Payal, Anuksha, Gaurav, Divesh, Monica, whoever is having trouble understanding or having trouble in doing it, get help from Bikash. He can help. Okay.
Okay.
So what we did today, we talked about lifecycle hook. See, I mean, you try, see, you see this disconnected callback, right? You see the connected callback. Okay, likewise, you can also write constructor, you can also write render callback, you can also write re-render callback, and then see, I mean, by using the parent and child, you see how you can do it. I mean, how it is, you can do the console log, and then you see how it is working. And then get a comfort. Okay, so we have seen the life cycle hooks, we have seen how the message are transferred from child to parent, parent to child. Parent to child is not that complicated, right? Because a parent can do anything on their child. Okay, they have full control. So that's why, so the API method, you can set up all these messages, but child cannot do everything with the parent. So that's why it needs to have some channel to send the messages to the parent. That's why we are using the custom event and sending the messages. Okay, that is one in the hierarchical relationship, parent child relationship. But if you want to exchange messages through the unrelated component, not in the hierarchical relationship, then you have to use the lightning message services, and you have seen the example. Okay, so with that, I think I took a long time today, but it was needed, and we don't have any class on Friday, so I hope everything should be fine for you guys. You will have more time to get do some hands-on, and please look at the sample galleries every time. If now you will understand the e-bike, how the subscriptions and publish happens. You can see this one also. It's all, these are all the real examples. Okay, and also the homework that I have asked you. So with that, I think we have covered most of the things. Now there are some advanced things that you can do it by yourself, but in our next session we will do some divisions, and then we'll talk on some other topics, and then we'll conclude our sessions. Okay, so thank you guys. You have a long weekend, enjoy your holidays, do some hands-on homework, and then we'll see you on the next Wednesday.
Okay, Suman, bye.
Yeah, bye, take care. And if you have any questions on the homework that I have given, please reach out to Vikas. He can help you guys. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.